In the NBA, the Utah Jazz have lost 3 in a row after following up from their 6-game win streak. What's gone wrong and what can they do to fix it? All right, so let's go ahead and pivot back to the NBA, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about our Utah Jazz now. Last week on the podcast, we did discuss the Utah Jazz. We also put out a video on the Utah Jazz and how they were the hottest team in the NBA. Be sure to check that video out. They won 15 out of their last 19 and were on a 6-game winning streak at the time. At the time of recording this one, the Utah Jazz are now on a 3-game losing streak with losses to OKC, Houston, and New Orleans. What would you say is the reasoning behind this recent skid?
I mean, the big thing is the Jazz have lost 3 games in a row. I mean, to start this losing streak, that first loss against OKC, that's a really good basketball team. They're talented. They've got Chet Holmgren back. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in potentially MVP season. I mean, they're really, really good, right? They can score the ball. They get a ton of free throws. Shai Gilgeous gets every single call all the time, every game. I mean, you literally can't touch the dude. It's going to be a foul and he's going to shoot free throws for it. So they're really good. The Jazz played that was a really competitive game. And when that game was over, I was like, you know what? I'm not even upset about that loss. Like that was a good game to watch. The Jazz competed. I mean, it was a close game. It went all the way down to the last couple possessions. I was okay with it. The Houston game. Okay, Houston's not a great basketball team. They're about the same record as the Jazz. They're kind of up and coming. This game looks really competitive, the whole thing, right? Realistically, this comes all the way down to you get a shot at the end to win the ball game. You miss it. I mean, that one's by Colin Sexton. It goes into overtime. In overtime, Jordan Clarkson gets a 8-foot floater to win the game in overtime and misses it. He short arms it. And honestly, that one I wasn't even upset about, right? Like, you're going to take that look from Colin Sexton or Jordan Clarkson any game of the week. Plain and simple. Like, that's okay. And then they come out and just absolutely look horrendous against New Orleans, right? I mean, they shot, in the game against Houston, they shoot 39% from 3, and they look great. And they lose in a tough game. All good. You live with it. I mean, that's okay. But then to come out against New Orleans and allow the Pelicans to shoot 48.6% from 3, that is absolutely insane. And these guys were shooting the ball well. This Pelicans team is way too talented for that. We're not even defending threes at this point. We just got wide open shooters just letting it rain. CJ McCollum goes absolutely insane. You got Brandon Ingram, who the dude's a stud. You can love him, you can hate him. The dude can play basketball. Zion Williamson, not my favorite player in the world. I think he's ridiculously overrated. He can't shoot the ball from anywhere unless he's 4 feet from the rim. I mean, the Jazz have got to find somebody that can defend one of these athletic freak shows, right? Like, that's kind of what they struggle with, is Zion is in that 4-5 role, where he's down in the post and he's got to play. And Walker Kessler, he's a fantastic defender, but he's not fast enough to defend someone like Zion Williamson. Yeah, I mean, Zion's an athletic freak. He can jump straight up over top of you and dunk it on your head. That's not the job for Walker Kessler. He's a shot blocking big. We know John Collins is definitely not the guy for that task.
No.
And I don't know how you really fix that. Lowry's not going to be able to stay in front of him. But I mean, really, who in the league can defend him? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my thing here. Like, there's no one that's big enough or strong enough to actually defend Zion. If you only have to defend Zion in a game, it's okay. But when you have Brandon Ingram go off and CJ McCollum go off, it's just going to be overwhelming.
I'd have to agree with you on that. The one thing I don't agree with on it just a little bit is the Houston loss. That game should have never been that close whatsoever. You think that, yes, they are basically kind of on the same up and coming thing. But at that time, at that game, the Utah Jazz were a game under 500. So at the time, the Utah Jazz were, I can accept the OKC loss. I think the OKC is just a better team. Yeah. And, on any given night, sure, the Jazz could win. But that beat, I accept that. I take that. Exactly the same way. I saw the fight in the team. I saw them come out guns blazing. I saw them defending. I saw them rebounding. I'm okay with that loss. Houston and New Orleans, there's 2 things that stood up to me on that one that just are unacceptable for this Utah Jazz team. And one is definitely defense. First of all, around the perimeter, 23 made threes for over, for 50% efficiency from threes. But I actually know the real reason why they lost the New Orleans game. You want to know the real reason? THT played 8 minutes.
He did what?
He played 8 minutes. That's why.
Oh, no.
They let THT on the floor. Sorry, guys. THT plays, but they lose. It's just how it works.
It's just how it works.
But yeah, no, I mean, and the big thing that I noticed in both the Houston game and the New Orleans games when I caught the replay there is that just the Jazz are not boxing out.
For
They
one
are
of the most
not.
efficient offensive rebounding teams in the league,
You know, they're giving, that's what I'm saying. They're giving
second chance attempts.
yeah, the New Orleans
Yeah.
Pelicans got 8 second chance options in the second half of last game, of their last loss.
Too many, man.
So yeah, New Orleans, they definitely should not have given, and that's the other thing, man. I'm tired of the Jazz being on the other side of record-breaking games. I'm really getting
Seems like
tired
a
of seeing that.
seems like way too many times this season already, for sure.
I'm really tired of it.
Yeah.
The Pelicans set a franchise record in points, and yes, it's against Utah. Anytime you're allowing, on average, teams to score over 125 points, you're not going to win the game typically. And they did win a few of these.
They did.
over that 6-game win streak, so which is really impressive. But yeah, to me, that's just what it is. The defense has been terrible. The rebounding has been terrible. You cannot give 125 points on average a game over the last 3 games and expect to win.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen. You know, a lot of people are saying it's, you know, there's a bunch of reasons. They're like, oh, you know, the defense is tired. You know, it's we're coming into the dog days before the All-Star break. People are getting tired. People are going to, you know, the Pelicans don't look tired.
Yeah, they didn't look tired at all.
Rockets didn't look tired.
Nope.
OKC didn't look
Everyone's
tired.
out there playing with full energy, ready to go, ready to beat the Jazz into the ground efficiently.
Yeah. Now, so I don't want this to be a doomsday type video because I don't think this is not sound the alarm. Let's blow it up. And
Definitely not.
they lose 3 in a row. They currently still are sitting in the 10th spot in a play-in position.
Yep.
They're only 1 game below 500. Not every, you know, we said it's sustainable. We didn't say it was going to be everlasting.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
We're going to hit a bump in the road.
Yeah, you're not going to win every game the rest of the season. You're not going to go on 6-7 game win streaks and only lose one and get back to winning again. Like, this is the NBA. This is the best players in the world playing in this league every single game. I think the Jazz got a chance.
Let us know in the comments down below, folks. Let us know what you think what the Utah Jazz are. You know, is this something that's going to be, you know, something we need to get used to going down for the rest of the season? Are they going to be this type of team where they win 6 in a row and then drop 3 in a row, or you think this is something they could quickly fix and continue on? Is this time to hit the alarm, or are we just, you know, do we need to be a little bit more patient with this team?
Yep, absolutely. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like this, make sure you share it, and make sure you subscribe.
Absolutely. Now, we did talk a lot about the Utah Jazz and a little bit about the NBA in this video. We probably cut the NBA part out of this video just to make sure, if you want to catch everything we talked about on this video, it's available on our podcast underneath our playlist, Label Podcast. It's also available audio only wherever you get your podcasts. It's also available on our website at dnasportsrecap.com.